And we are live. Mr. Gracey, what's going on? Show 80. Oh, by the way, I am very 80, dude. I'm very hyper today, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get a word in edgewise. Just forewarning.
Oh boy.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Can you take over
everyone?
Can you take over the show? I'm very low energy today. I don't know if I can make it through.
Take a Red Bull. I'll do my best.
Yes. Very sexual show we have today, Mr. Gracey. Are you excited?
Hey.
Yes, that's what.
Who does?
Oh, you're gay.
That's what she said. What? Hey, now that was Howard Stern. He's coming on later to talk about his little penis.
And his fear of COVID still,
dude. He's probably locked away. I haven't.
And his love of Kamala.
Yes.
But
I heard that
to be a Republican. Okay, yeah.
I heard that's going to be the Democratic nominee in 2028. Stern Harris. Yes.
I heard Walz wants to run in 28. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Ay.
I told you. Well, we talked about the IG Live the last week. I said, just wait. The Democrat national primary is going to be fucking hilarious. Just watch who they pull for this thing.
Whatever happened to like taking your medicine and going away, like, and
they do. We've talked about this before. You course correct when what you're doing is not working. They don't do that. They just double, triple, quadruple down on the same shit. It's just like mind boggling at this point. How do you continue to operate a political party the way they are? It's just they don't course correct on anything. They double down on the same shit, triple down, quadruple down on the same narratives, and it's just like, hey, that's not working. That's why you lost the election in a landslide. And then go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what if it was a Republican coup from within the Democratic Party from way back in the day, and they just like the past 20 years just kind of took over, started putting in this crazy fucking ideology. So it's a one-party system. Because otherwise, I have no idea how the Democrats don't change.
The theory.
It'd be like the only thing that makes sense.
You have to go through a whole bunch of, the Republican has to go through a whole bunch of pain. But yeah, I mean, it is the only thing that really makes sense. I doubt that's true. I think they're just that fucked up. But that is the only thing that makes logical sense, is to have Republican operatives in there. It's just like completely changing the party.
Yeah.
Just never course correct on anything.
All the best Democrats hop over to the Republican side. It's like, it's fucking absurd, man. Like, you had Rogan, you had Musk, you had Trump, you had Tulsi Gabbard, you had fucking Harford Jr. Yeah, like the list goes on and on and on and on. And
now seemingly they want fucking World War III. Like, they literally want to blow up the fucking world.
Yeah.
What, to get Trump? It's like, what? Well, Trump wants to have world peace, so we have to be opposite. I swear to God, I've said it many times. If Trump said oxygen is great, they would fucking put bags over their heads. It's just crazy, man.
They would figure out a way on how oxygen is destroying the planet somehow, because it's taking away from some kind of fucking ant somewhere.
They're like, oh, no, oxygen is not good. What are you talking about? This study says that oxygen is bad for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trump wants us to breathe more oxygen. He's fucking crazy, dude. He wants to give the people back.
Well, I've seen this meme going around. Trump should come out as a woman, and so the left's either going to have to accept him as the first woman president, or just get over their insanity about changing your identity on a whim. Which one's it going to be? It'd be fucking hilarious.
And he would be somebody to fuck with them just like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's so many ways he should just start saying he wants to bring in all these immigrants. He'd like, just open the borders again. They'd be like, no, shut them down. This is bullshit. They would take the exact opposite stance. That's how they work.
I loved his line. I forget exactly how he worded it, but he was basically saying it like they were saying it took like some kind of vote or some kind of law to close down the border. And he was like, no, it turns out all it took was a president change.
Yeah, it was all second with a new president. Yeah. That's what Biden was saying the whole time. We need new laws, and the Democrats, the Republicans won't let us pass any new laws to shut down the border. Along comes Trump. Boom, we're down 95, 98% crossings.
Yeah, but here's my question: what was the law that opened the borders that we had to change to close them. Like they
Right.
weren't like that fucking.
Well, when you come in and just dismantle everything that the former president did just because you hate him,
Yeah,
then you have an open border. Oh,
dude,
remain
we're
in
not gonna
Mexico.
build
Yeah.
another inch of the wall
Right.
under my presidency. Those were literally his words, and he thought they were cool to say. Like that was a good thing to say. Like,
Well, for his party, that was cool. Like, oh yeah, look, the walls are racist.
but it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, how did we get that mind fucked into like thinking some of the? That's like him saying, "I like to smell shit and fucking drink piss," and we're like, yeah. I mean, that sounds crazy, but maybe he's right.
That is how propagandized and I hate to say it, but brainwashed the left is. They do not adhere to logic and reason anymore. Whatever their party tells them to say or think, they're right on it. Boom, boom. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds. I mean, if it was a Republican saying this dumb shit, I'd be like, "Fuck, you people are retarded." Like that doesn't make any sense.
I feel like
the same
want.
stuff.
I feel like I want some of what they're on, like that. I don't need to think juice and like.
Well, we should play the video of this girl. I wanted Bobby to play because she sums it up perfectly. And then she goes into like the mental health of the left. Like they're all fucking depressed and like they just hate Trump so much. You know,
Get it up,
they
Bobby.
cannot friggin' stand anything that's going on. And so they're all like losing it.
Yeah, I mean, not as probably worse than when he beat Hillary back in 2016. That was some of those videos were the best to see.
Oh,
Here we go.
So critical of the Democratic Party right now is because I literally just left it, just like a lot of other people. I was a bleeding heart liberal like all of you. I mean, blue hair and everything. I mean, believe me, I have plenty of pictures proving that I was all in. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said there is no way in hell I will ever vote for Donald Trump. But let me tell you what changed my mind. The big moment for me was when the left started trying to push this like Nazi, Hitler, fascism narrative that they're trying to push right now. Like what y'all actually did is made a lot of us really go research Trump even harder. And we started to realize that a lot of things that you guys had shown us about Trump and things that he had said were taken way out of context. A lot of us started noticing a pattern where you guys were showing us like little 10-second clips of a 10-minute conversation that did not reflect the entirety of that conversation at all. So that was number one. And then around Thanksgiving, all of a sudden you guys are telling us that it would be better for us to sit at home and spend the holidays with no one than it would be to go home to your family who voted for Trump. When I heard that, I was like, okay, now y'all are wilding because you cannot tell me that it is better for your mental health to sit at home alone than it is to go and spend time with your friends and family. Y'all had actual therapists getting on TV and telling you guys this. And the sad thing is that it would have been better for them to encourage you to do something like find other people that believe the same as you to spend the holidays with, but they didn't. They told you to stay in your home and spend the holidays with no one. When that happened, I was like, okay, I gotta give this party a second look because something is not right here. But honestly, if you want to know the truth, what really did it for me is realizing how freaking depressed I was when I was functioning as a liberal. Liberalism will literally make you hate yourself. It will make you hate your family. It will make you hate your friends. It will make you hate everything about the world. And I'm not saying that you should just be ignorant to everything that is going on in the world, but the way that the left chooses to internalize everything that is going on in the world is detrimental to their mental health. And this is why people try to tell you that empathy is dangerous. But even that you want to take out of context. Empathy itself is a great quality to have. Empathy without discernment is detrimental. You have got to be able to discern when you are carrying too much and you need to take a step back, and none of you are doing that. Believe me, it is possible to care about everything that is going on in the world and not let it consume every single thought that you have and every single conversation that you have. A lot of us are leaving the party in droves because you guys have made it impossible to have any sort of individual thought whatsoever. Like, for instance, if I say that I like RFK Jr. because I want bad chemicals out of my food and because I want to know what's in my vaccines, you will assume that I am someone who is anti-vax and anti-science, when in fact, all three of my kids and myself have been vaccinated. I just want to tell you guys something. Every Republican most likely voted for Trump. Every person that voted for Trump is not a Republican. The fact that you guys are so against Trump's administration right now, when most of his administration is former Democrats who have now left the party, y'all look wild. I mean, the Democratic Party has brainwashed people so hard that they are actually advocating against world peace right now. People on the left would rather us keep giving money to Ukraine to fund a war than to even fathom getting Ukraine and Russia at the table to try to agree to peace. a party that I joined because they were so anti-war.
Who is that, Chad?
I don't know. I just saw randomly on Instagram. I don't know what her name is. It was on another page, this Reels Nitro or something that I follow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she's fucking nailing it.
Beautifully put. And like, it's crazy that it's literally straight to the point. These are words that everybody's been thinking, but she's just saying it kind of in layman's terms and really hitting the nail home. And yeah, people could be too empathetic, but I don't think that's what the left was. I don't think they were empathizing too much with people. Like,
well, no.
Oh.
They use empathy as a weapon. Like,
right.
I mean, this is what Elon talked about on Joe Rogan. Weaponize empathy from the top.
Yeah.
To then you commit suicidal empathy, where you're like, oh yeah, we have to let all these people in our country because it's humanitarian, we're compassionate.
Yeah.
And then they friggin' destroy your country. This is what happened in California.
Yeah.
It's a one-party state because they've let in millions of illegals and you're not even allowed to ask for a driver's license. It's illegal to ask for a driver's license.
It's insane.
You can't even, if you go to the poll and say, hey, do you need my driver's license? They'll be like, no. Like, they freaking freak out, dude. It's fucking, I have people that have personally done it. It's friggin' wild. Anyway, my point is, suicidal empathy changes your culture. I mean, it's destroying England. It's destroying Germany. It's destroying Sweden. Suicidal empathy. It's what these people come in, they destroy your culture. Why aren't we allowed to have the American culture? Why can't we just be Americans? But these people don't want to be Americans. They want to come into the country and change it into Mexico or change it into whatever.
Yeah.
Fly their Mexican flags. It's like, why the fuck are you here if you're flying your Mexican flag? Like, you'd be pretty proud of where you came from, but like, if you love it so much, go back.
Yeah. The fact that people are pissed off that Trump is trying to make the national language English or signed an executive order to do so, like, what's wrong with you? Like, however many percentage of the country speaks that language, it's in the majority. And then also the country was founded by those same English speaking founders. So it should have already been the national language. He's just kind of fucking doing what should have been done a long time ago. And if you're against that, it's like you're against fucking like American shit. I don't understand it. It's not saying that you can't speak Spanish here or you can't speak French, or it's just saying like, we have a national language. This is what is taught in our schools. This is what we speak when we do business. Like, it's
it's basically an international language for flight. All flight operations are done in English.
Yes.
Around the world.
Right.
So,
international business, if you want to do it, you speak English. Nobody's doing it in habla español. Pardon my French.
Right. Pardon my French, habla español.
Yeah, as I speak fucking Spanish, pardon my French. But you know what I'm saying? Like, big world business is being done in English. Like, that's the second language you're learning in these other countries. If you're trying to become an international businessman, you're not, learning 100%. Fucking parlez-vous français and, maybe Chinese. I'll learn some Mandarin. Ni hao. Ni hao. Did you ever hear Chinese people speak Spanish? Like, they do it in that fast Chinese like dialect, but they're speaking Spanish. It's pretty cool. Don't ask me why or how I heard that, but I have.
I watched that podcast with the telepathy thing on Joe Rogan. What was her name? Kai Dixon, I think her name is.
Yes, talk to me about it.
That was wild. I mean, you have these nonverbal people speaking, communicating telepathically, but I was fascinated by the fact that like they had this case of this person nonverbal who could read hieroglyphs and understand hieroglyphs and never was exposed to it. Like, how the fuck like, what?
Right.
You've never been exposed to it, but you understand hieroglyphs. You can just like, wait a minute,
what did you take from that? Did you take that somebody in the hide or whatever they call it, told
hill?
The hill, like,
right, they call it
told?
The hill. I mean, I guess, or they can just learn things telepathily, or just absorb things.
Right,
it's
from the universe.
Like the Matrix, they're plugged in, but it's
yeah.
A different version of it, because like in the Matrix, they plug you into the system and you can instantly learn kung fu, or learn how to fly a helicopter or speak a different language.
But now check this out, Chad. So like, let's just say 30 years ago, the more likely scenario would have been that there is telepathy. These people are meeting up on the hill and they're, communicating through telepathy.
Mhm.
Like that would have been what we heard this here. And that would have been like the likely scenario. Now, the more likely scenario is we're in a fucking simulation and the telepathy going on that hill is all done through the simulation.
Mm.
And fucking
Could be. We're living in the Matrix.
All right, we're gonna bring our guest on. Before I do, audience, did you guys see that there's supposedly some planet that's sending radio signals from it? Keep
I
that in
didn't s-
mind. As I bring on our guest, I'm gonna leave
Okay.
you
Let's
guys
throw
with
that
that.
out there.
Yes. Hello, Miss Saidi Bess. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Hi there. Pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming on.
Likewise.
So, talk to me. You have a lot of big words like on your podcast or Facebook page and all that stuff. Sacred, sensual alchemy.
Right.
And can you talk to me a little bit about that philosophy and what you do with that?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, my whole mission now is to really bring greater consciousness around our sexuality. Our sexuality has been really shunned, shamed, perverted, distorted in our society through various means. And I think we've really gotten disconnected from our power and our creativity, our passion, our vitality, our life force energy, that we are sexual creatures, right? And it's just really perverted, and we've really lost touch with that. And there's all this guilt, sin, shame, that we've taken on in really big ways, and it's a mess. So, bringing more awareness and consciousness to that and helping us to unpack those unhealthy belief systems we've taken on that we've just inherited, right? We didn't even get to question this stuff. So now it's time to start questioning, like, where did I get that? Is it serving me? Could I try on maybe a different belief that's supporting my highest good? So, yeah.
More European, it sounds like. Because it sounds like we're like uptight here in America about our sexuality and nakedness and stuff like that. We're not as loose as maybe the Europeans are. Is that sort of what you're saying here or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, when we think about it, it was the Puritans, right, that came over here and founded our country. So they came in with those, strong belief systems, and it's just really permeated our entire culture and our whole way of being. So, yeah, it's time to undo that mindset and challenge it and do some critical thinking. And it hasn't served us too well. So, yeah.
So multiple sexual partners is what I'm hearing. Monogamy, no good. All
monogamy is not very realistic, is it?
No, it isn't.
It's like we've tried it on, and I think we've proven it just doesn't work too well. It's yeah. So yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because I kind of feel the same way. I don't like monogamy for me, but I love it for the lady I'm with. You know what I'm saying? Because
You can't have it both ways, buddy.
I technically can separate the sexual part from the feeling part. I feel like the ladies, they don't really do that. So that's my kind of.
I'm going to push back on that one, because I don't have any problem with that. And I can care about somebody and enjoy, sexual encounters with them and then go on my way, right? It doesn't.
But are you in the majority or minority of the females? That's the kind of difference, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd say most men are very attached. They are very possessive. Once they claim something, they want to keep it as their own, right?
Just like John said.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that more in men, actually. So, but again, it's really across the board. It's not a gender-based thing. It's these belief systems of the happily ever after. There's going to be this one person who completes me and makes everything good and whole, and that's on both. That's all of us. We're all rocking that out. So but no, and that's part of why, doing the work and getting underneath these things, we've just taken it for granted that that's the way it's supposed to be. It's like, well, is that really working for you? And that's everybody, right? And when you start picking it apart, it's like, maybe not, maybe that's not the best model for me. So yeah.
I completely get it. And I was kind of joking when I was saying kind of good for the goose, good for the gander, when I was saying like I could not be monogamous, but I want my, lady partner to be. That would be an ideal world, but it doesn't usually work like that. But like if I'm not,
why would that be ideal?
well, because so I've shared ladies before, but not that I was in a like loving relationship with. So just like kind of dating surfacely or friends with benefits. And I'm absolutely 100% cool with that. But the moment there's like, some love involved and you guys are making kind of commitments with that, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I want to share that side of it, because it's like, it's not like you're not you're not just fucking, like this is something more intimate. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of being vulnerable. Like when you're fucking, it's not really a vulnerable moment. It's like a, having fun doing whatever. But that other side where you're the love parts, like you're kind of letting your guard down with that person. And then to share that with other peeps just doesn't.
But you want to go out and share with them.
Yes, dude. Now you're talking.
The woman's not allowed to.
No, but Chad, here's the thing.
Guy.
I don't want to, but I could say there could be a time where I'm not thinking of the other person that way, and then like, something happens. Don't want to. It's not the plan to do, but people are human. Don't mind me, Sadie. I a little too honest for the podcast and the world.
It's real, right? Yeah, no, it's real. It's real.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom said you're a little crazy today, John.
I told you before we started, Chad. I told you before. This is the new me, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared. But no, so Sadie, so you actually do like coaching and stuff with this philosophies that you got going on here. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is, a kind of, well, first it's looking at belief systems, like what are you rocking out? What are you bringing into your sexual encounters? What are you bringing into relationships? And again, is that serving you? And if not, then how do we try on some different philosophies, beliefs, understandings, practices that really support where you want to be, right? So yeah, there's so much unconsciousness around sexuality. Again, like the monogamy piece, we've just taken it on, right? Well, let's explore that. And is that really serving you? Is that really how you want to be in the world? Is that, yeah, I mean, there's just so much to unpack here, right? And just guilt and shame around, various different desires or ways of showing up sexually, right? So looking at that and doing a real honest assessment of, what is my sexuality? For me in the beginning, it was like really, okay, like what's a healthy sexuality? How can I align with that? And then I would, learn more and explore and research. And, people are saying it's healthy to want to have sex 3 times a week. It's just like, oh, okay. So that's a healthy libido. That's what that looks like. And then I was just like, but according to whom, right? And does that actually fit me? So there's these things out there that are still like, this is what a healthy sexuality looks like. And it's not, it's different for every single person. So it's a real personal journey and an exploration of unpacking what we've been told again. And there's so many layers to it, right? What we think it's supposed to look like. And it just doesn't, right? But we have to dive into that for ourselves and not take it for granted and not take on somebody else's, understanding of what a healthy sexuality looks like. So yeah, that's a big part of it. Diving in, what is it?
And that's kind of key. That's kind of key. What you said too is like, it's not one size fits all for sexuality here. It's like everybody's on their own journey. And a lot of times people probably are taking their cues from learned behavior or stuff they kind of grew up with and whatever. Like, yeah, like if you want to fucking have sex 7 times a week and you're told, oh, it's normal for 3 times, you might feel like you're overly sexualized, but then,
right. Yeah. And then, saying that it's really important once we get clear on what works for us, connecting with other people that are in alignment with that and being able to communicate that, because so many people don't have these conversations in the beginning and they just assume it's going to, again, that happily ever after and everything's just going to be fine. It's like, no, you need to get clear on what works for you. And that's a journey. It's not, and that's ever evolving, right? But get some good understanding of what you want out of a partnership sexually, right? If that's what you're looking for, and be able to communicate that. And like, is this in alignment with what you want, right? And connecting with others who are also interested in opening this up for themselves, right? And getting conscious around this. Yeah, so really important key piece, because so many people just don't have conversations, and then they end up, a year later, like, what happened? It's just, and then resentment builds, and it gets ugly, right?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of relationships, start out great. Everyone's, having sex together and lots of sex,
Yeah.
and then that kind of tapers off, and then you don't have any sex eventually. It's a lot of
Right.
relationships devolve into that. And it's like, well, why not? If you still love that person, why not be able to go satisfy yourself sexually outside of it? It seems. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a serial monogamous in all the relationships I've been in so far, and I got divorced in 2021. But ever since then, I'm really questioning whether I want to go back into a monogamous relationship, and I don't think I do, because it's just
Right.
I don't want to be locked in like that anymore. And that was more just me, the way I grew up, and my parents were together all until my dad died in 2010. But I don't know. I just don't feel like that anymore.
Societal norms don't have to, like, what was once societal norms aren't the norm anymore. And like, I think we're starting to realize that more. I didn't mean to jump in there, Sadie. Please go ahead. I just had to get that out because I hear what Chad's saying there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. I just, got out of a relationship that I knew what worked for me, and I know what works for me, and yet I went against some of that anyways, just to see, like, let's explore this, and maybe it could work, and it totally didn't, right? So now I'm just like, okay, I really explored, some different paths there, and that's not what works for me. And it's a dismantling of my own deep belief of this one happily ever after thing. We really have that. It's so fed to us, like through Disney movies, and when we're young and we're kids, it just doesn't freaking work. And I won't say that for everybody, but I just challenge us to, push back on that a little bit and really question, is that working? Is it working? And it's not for me at all.
Yeah.
The fact that we took like one of the most natural things that humans do and like made it so taboo is like kind of crazy when it comes down to it,
Biology.
Yeah.
We all came here through sexuality.
Excuse me.
Here.
I was dropped off by a stork, just FYI.
Well,
I
then
came
there's
a little
that.
bit.
There's that, sure.
But yeah,
really, and then to vilify it and demonize it and shame it so much, it just shames our very existence. And that, I mean, for me, that's really at the core of it, because we don't love ourselves. We don't feel worthy. We're in lack. And it stems from, I mean, this is a big one, right? At the foundation of our experience. And I mean, how do you vilify that? It really has stripped us of our power. And that's why I'm so passionate about bringing it back, right? Like, no, we're sexual beings, and sexuality is gorgeous and amazing if we get underneath all the crap, right? Yeah.
And like I said, it boils down to biology too. You are programmed in your reptilian mind to go out and spread your seed to as many people as you can, right? I mean, so you have sexual attraction to different people, and sometimes it's good to act on that.
Yeah, agreed. That's why, I shouldn't be monogamous, because it's in my DNA to just go and plow the fields, so to speak. I have to, yeah. Well, Sadie, did you have like a sexual awakening or something? Like, were you once uptight about sex, and then you had this like awakening, and then this is how we came on this journey? Or were you always like a sexual being, kind of wondering like, why isn't the world cut up to my loins?
Right. No, I was always very sensual, very into touching and connecting. And for me, there was something very kind of spiritual about it, though I didn't have those words at the time. There was like a deep connection. I would really appreciate just being in union or touching another being, and just how beautiful that was. And I didn't feel like I needed to necessarily attach to that. I could, experience a number of different beings. And that got me in trouble in high school. I was labeled a slut, and because I didn't know how to do it, I wasn't conscious. I didn't have the communication skills or tools to know how to navigate that for myself. So I kind of took that on, that I was a bad person too, and I couldn't control myself, and I was just hurting everybody and hurting myself, causing a lot of damage. And the further I went on into my path, then I ended up dancing at strip clubs, and just that was amazing, because I got to really be in that sensual energy and express in that way, and it was supported, right? And I was just
Powerful.
like, oh my gosh, yes. And that moved into escorting, which to me was just like absolute heaven, because here was these very strong boundaries. I get to experience a whole bunch of different people. They go home, I go my way, and we're all in agreement that, like, yeah, that was great, that was amazing, and now we're complete, right? Like,
so would you, sorry to interrupt, because I want to keep going here, but I have my brain, gets these questions. So when you were escorting, were you actually able to have orgasm with these Johns or whatever as well? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would you feel bad, like charging afterwards? Like, hey, we both kind of came to fruition here.
No.
And
no, not at all.
And last question, what was the charge? How much we talking here? How many shekels?
Well, it ranged. It's gone up to is it $1,000 an hour?
Rock on.
Up with that. Yeah. It started lower at 300, but I just kept raising it to where it felt right for me. So yeah.
You're like, I'll eventually price myself out, and they're like, all right, I'll do 1,100, fine.
Right. Yeah, and that's actually, you have to know the market and where it's going to be accepted and work. In some areas, that's not going to fly. But
did you ever give a discount for a good performance?
No.
Good. All right. I just want to make sure, because I never got one, so I just want to make sure that wasn't a thing before we get there.
No discounts.
So no discounts. So okay. So now the escorting felt even more powerful and empowering and all that jazz. If you want to continue, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then just continuing on, getting into my spiritual path, and learning so much more about energy and consciousness, and my education, going through various degrees and learning so much that I started bringing into this sexuality and getting really passionate about getting under, hearing so many of my clients talking about their relationships, right? I learned so much about what wasn't working and why they were coming to see me, and the patterns of the women, their partners, and the patterns of, the men, and what was going on. So I was learning a lot about that. And then just starting to apply what I learned spiritually and what I learned in my education to that, and getting just really passionate about getting underneath all of it again. And so it's just been, for me, a lifelong journey of coming into my own sensuality and sexuality, which is quite a journey, right? And it isn't, like we said earlier, not a one size fits all. So it's a constant learning and pushing back on systems and pushing back on those beliefs I've taken in. But yeah, just I see so much pain and turmoil around this sexuality that disappears in relationships. And it's not just the sexuality. That's kind of a symptom, right, of a much deeper underlying feminine masculine issue that we've got going on, right? So it just shows up in sexuality, or a lack thereof, right? So yeah, that's just kind of been the journey. So yeah.
Have you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I was going to say, you back to earlier when you said in high school you were, sleeping around and they considered a slut. It's just always funny that guys that do that, they're like, oh, that's cool, yeah. But the women that do it, they're they're sluts, and it's like, but guys always secretly like sluts.
Oh yeah,
or whatever you want to call them. Oh, sexually open women, but they're like, oh no, she's a slut. We can't have sex with her, and then they're, in the back figuring out how to get to her and having sex with her. It seems to me, it's like, why? Like, how does society program us with that as well. It's like one
Right.
side is it's bad to do, the other side is like, yeah, cool, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're young and dumb and not thinking properly because they're sluts in high school, and then like 3 years later they're the cool chicks because they they were given out at the proper time. But you're in high school, you're like, they're sluts. It's just like you weren't thinking properly. Like, no, they're the ones doing the thing, putting it out there. The good old time.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had your first sexual experience? Were you late? Was it later in life? Was it because I remember you saying you were a little hoochie in high school, but was that when the sexual stuff started?
Yeah, I guess my first it was in between 8th and 9th grade. So I think I was like 13 maybe. Is that right?
Somewhere.
A good, around there. Yeah. You'd think I'd remember that, right? The age, but yeah, 13.
Yeah, you remember like where you were in school. The age is like, oh, I was
Right,
in ninth
exactly.
grade.
It was right before I went into high school, and somehow I'd connected with the quarterback of the football team. So that was a great way to enter into high school.
Yeah, and probably a good way for him to get the slut name out because he probably had a big mouth. Like, hey, by the way.
Actually, he wasn't like that at all. No, he was a very, very sweet guy, and we, had a great connection, and it was a really beautiful entry into my, into sexuality in that way. So no, there was no weird drama around that at all. So I'm really happy with how that worked out. So
That's probably key too, that first sexual experience to define maybe you as a person on that journey.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
If it's all awkward and whatever, it might remain like that until you find a person to open up that beautiful flower type of deal.
Yeah, totally.
Beautiful flower.
Beautiful. Thank you. Man of analogies today. So do you find like, have you ever gotten frisky with maybe some people you're coaching, like to coach them out of their sexual proclivity, like they're like non-sexual way, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever coached them like physically to get them out of their
out of their shell?
Out of their shell. There you go. Thank you.
No, I have not had people come to me in that way, working at that level. But I definitely, like the gentleman friends I was seeing, clients have turned into coaching clients, and I, support them through moving through all of this, right, and unpacking. So yeah, so in that sense, and some of my I do energy healing as well, and some of those sessions were are hands-on, right?
Yeah.
So there's a release, right? And there's but it's a powerful energetic and it's really, there's been a lot of helping people with erectile dysfunction issues because there's so much energy blocked up. So using energy healing for this and to clear the mind, because it's all connected, right? Body, mind, spirit. So yeah, definitely I work at that level and have worked at that level. So yeah.
What is your clientele like? Is it married men, women? Do you have just broad spectrum, or is it a
mostly I'm starting to work with women a lot more now, so moving into that realm, and I have supported them in a different way around intergenerational trauma and so much of the sexual abuse and that women have been dealing with for thousands of years. That is just underlying, our society, and we're all carrying that energy. We're all carrying that wounding, right? Because men are born out of women, right? So you can't escape it. We're all carrying these traumas, right? Because it's an energetic, like epigenetics, right? It's part of our DNA. So I was supporting women around that, but now then moving back to more supporting men, and now I'm just really trying to bring it all together and work with both. And we have so much to learn from each other, and I'm really so passionate about supporting more of a connection versus a separation of we don't need any more separation of the masculine and the feminine, right? And any more of the anger and resentment. So trying to offer things for both. And I hold community events now for both people to get involved, and so we can learn from each other and start taking apart those belief systems that we think about. Oh, women are like this or men are like this. It's just like, no, let's come together and talk about this and open it up, right? Open up those discussions and learn from each other and shift these paradigms that just aren't working.
Yeah. Have you had any like surge in younger clients? Because you keep hearing about this younger generation. A lot of them aren't having sex. They're more into the porn realm. They're sitting in their room by themselves. And it just seems like they're not having as much sex as maybe our generation did. Have you seen anything to support that?
That's so interesting. I listened to another podcast called Man Talks. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but this guy is really,
I'll check it out.
yeah, it's so good. It's really supporting the masculine to, be in their power and move through a lot of these unhealthy dynamics. And he talks about, the decline of the younger generations and their disconnection from their power and feeling vilified, and that society has demonized men, right? It's all a man's fault. So he really addresses that. And he talks about, that younger men are like hiding out behind their computer screens and not connecting, and they're afraid to connect with women. And there's a big thing. I guess I don't draw in a younger crowd necessarily. Well, I do when I'm out and about, actually. So, but
Wait, you're saying you don't have a children's coloring book on this subject that we could give to the?
Come on, John.
That would be great. That would be great. No, but we need to start there, right? Shoot.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like you said, society has demonized the masculine part of our society, and so now those men are afraid to go out and even talk to a woman because they could be accused. Oh, I'm offended. You're talking to me. Like, it seems like they're dealing with that too. So they can't even get it in the door to connect, to have sex, because like you say something wrong to some woman and she's like, fuck you, you're patriarchy, blah, 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 whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I've seen that where guys are afraid to approach me because I might get upset about something, or I might take something wrong, or they don't want to be, that guy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get anywhere if we're not approaching? And I've never, bought into that, man hating, like it's all, I don't know, that just, I love men so much. And that's why I'm so passionate about supporting them, supporting all of us. Right. But no, I would not want to be in a world without men at all.
I'd like to try it for a day, like just to be the only man in that world. I'd like to try that for like one day.
You're getting around, John.
And then like after day one, I'd be like, all right, well, I don't know how to pump my own gas. So guys, we need you back here. I took care of enough women for us on that 1 day journey. What is a good, healthy sexual appetite for a person? Generalized. I know we're all on different speeds here, but what would you say? Mid 40s, handsome. How often should that guy be having sex?
As often as he wants. Right.
Exactly. As often as you can, John.
Yeah. So ladies, you heard her. In order to keep this show going, I need a lot of favors here. No, I was joking there, but if you want to answer, by all means.
No, as often as you want, right? I mean, that's what it should be, which is a really important piece, because not everybody wants a lot of sex, right? Again, we're told that that's the natural way, or that's what you should want. We're told all sorts of weird things, but that's one belief that people take on, that they should want more, right? They should want to have more sex, and maybe not, that doesn't fit everybody. So again, getting clear, what do you want? Some people don't want to have sex at all, and that's great, but don't get into a relationship with somebody that does, right? It's just not going to fucking work.
Yeah.
It's just not. So again, it's just try to get clear what feels natural, where is your desire? And that changes, of course, too, as we move through our life, right? Sometimes we're going to be in a place where we want more. Sometimes we want less, but this is why it's such a personal journey.
I'm sure like Viagra and Cialis didn't help us on this journey, because like when the dude's supposed to like stop having these massive erections because like his wife is dried up, now he's got these pills and like he's ready to go. And the wife is like, dude, I've been dead for about 5 years down there, and now you're fucking ready to roll.
I think there's so many more things going on there, right? And part of what I think women are dealing with is a real shutdown around their own sexuality and aren't able to receive the masculine. So that's their own personal journey to go on. And then the masculine is, maybe not giving in the healthiest of way also, right? Not offering from a place of, wholehearted. They often want to, they feel like, let's see. They need the feminine to give them something, right? To make them feel whole. So, and a female, we feel that, right? Like it's a very needy, like I need this from you so I can feel complete. So I am feeling desired. So I feel loved. And that's not where we want to give from, right? So I think that's part of why a lot of women shut down unconsciously. And then they create, physical issues where it's actually painful, right? And so then they have that, like, this is actually painful. And so then again, sex stops. And this is, I'm generalizing this, but this happens a lot. I see it a lot. But again, it's these deeper underlying issues, and men aren't coming to women oftentimes from a whole healthy place, right? They're needing something. They're needing something that they're trying to suck out of the feminine, and it doesn't feel good, right? So again, that's why this is a personal journey we all have to go on, because there's so much underneath it. It's not, I've had clients like, if my wife just wanted more sex, right? It's like, no. And then I see them ending up getting more sex from their wives, and they're still unhappy, right? Because it's like, oh, well, I'm getting more sex, but I don't feel like she actually wants to be with me. She's just doing it. She's just going through the motions. It's like, yes, it's not about sex. It's a deeper issue that you're not going to get complete from that. You're not.
Yeah.
It's we need to be whole in ourselves, and then we connect from that place, and it's great, right? But there's so much going on with it. There's so much.
Dudes are like their own worst enemy, trying to get some from the lady they're with. Like, if you just made her feel a little bit more loved and welcomed outside of the moment you're looking to get some vagina, it'd probably go a long way for when you're looking to get some vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of get in your own way with things, so to speak. I know I've been there. Well,
yeah. Well, and being clear, like, why are you wanting to connect with this other person? Is it
to bust the nut? You could just say that. You could just be like, to bust the nut. I want to release the.
If you're clear on that, that's great. And so long as she's into that too, right? Just something to get off on. I mean,
I wasn't talking about like a relationship, but I mean, even if it is a relationship, I've been there before and have been that honest with somebody. Like, can we just fuck real quick? Like, I'm dying over here.
Oh my gosh, right? And sometimes that's it. Like, I don't need a big fucking thing. Like, let's just do this, because I'm like, it doesn't have to be like this, light some candles and roll romantic. Like, no. Let's just do it, right? I love this quickie. Sometimes like, fuck, we're good. We're gone.
I don't need to put on the production over here and
seriously, right? Yeah.
But that's a lot of it, though. It's the yin and the yang between the people having sex and stuff like that. You could feel when you're not into it as a person, or the other person just kind of going through the motions. You both feed off of that. As a dude, you can get past that and be like, all right, she's not into it. Let me get my business going. Out. A chick, I mean, if they're not into it, that's where you're going to be there all day and a half. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get that comfortableness going. And then if not there, it's not there. Get on and get out,
Yeah.
Sure. Speaking of, do you think that
where's this going?
No, I don't know.
Go.
Well, no, I'm just like, do you think that marriage is kind of an archaic institution, and the fact that, when it was came about, like, people were dying probably by like 30 or something. Like, now to have that level of monogamy, is that the word for that? Sweet. Yeah. For that, amount of time, it just seems so unnatural. And if you're not doing your part as the couple, you could both start to feel maybe unattracted to the world. Like, nobody's into me type of deal, because you're not getting it from your spouse and then you're not going outside to get it. So it could really take a lot out of a person being in that monogamous relationship that's not being fed and, like, giving back to each other.
Absolutely. And that's what really happens, right? There's just such a shutdown when, our sexuality is an important piece of us. And when it's denied and not allowed its outlets, right? I mean, it shuts all of us down, because it's our passion, our creativity, our life force energy. And when we shut that down, a lot of other parts of ourselves shut down. And so marriage, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't work for me necessarily, but again, it's all about communication, right? And what do you want? Are you talking about sexuality? What happens when something shifts in the marriage and, one person doesn't want to engage sexually anymore? Does the one person get to go and explore that elsewhere and have their I won't say needs met, but desires met, and explore that. But if that's not discussed in the beginning, so I think the monogamous model of marriage is, I don't want to say it for everybody, but again, I don't think it ever really worked all that well. And it has just shut people down a lot to their passions, to their life force. And they'll, just because you get through to the end of your life and you've been married to that one person, it doesn't mean it was successful, right? It doesn't mean you were like living your life to the fullest and, really rocking it out. But that's what we base success on, is, did you make it to the end with that one person, right? Like, what about the rest of your life, right? So we really need to look at that. Like, what is success? What's important to us? What are our values? Does a marriage support that? And are you married to somebody who supports the change? We're going to change. We change all the freaking time, right? And if you can't shift and adapt and move with that kind of flow, then that's where you're going to be shut down. You're going to have problems, and then you're going to come see an escort, right?
Hey now.
Yeah, society says marriage is supposed to be monogamous, but like I think there's tons of marriages out there where the both agree to go outside of the marriage and have fun. Seems to be happening more often.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, again, this is it's in the collective, right? We're really questioning the old model, right? And trying on some new things for ourselves. So
especially as you're getting to hear, like, as the humans get more connected and you get to hear more conversations like this, like, oh shit, I'm not the only one who's fucking not having sex in this marriage, or, I'm not the only dude who wants sex more than my wife or more than my partner, whatever. It's, the conversations like this get the word out, and you realize, hey, a lot of people kind of have these similar thoughts, and maybe I'm not so unique in wanting to explore outside of my marriage, if, whatever.
There's lots of swingers out there, swinging couples for sure.
Yeah.
A lot more than you even
I respect them. I personally just don't get it. Like I said, if I get those deep feelings involved, I just am like, how can that person go and bang somebody else? Even though I could do it, I just don't get how their brain can do it, because they got to love me just a little bit more than I love them. Maybe that's where my crazy ego mind goes. I don't know. But it just, that's a thought in my brain. Like, oh, she couldn't love me if she's blowing this dude or whatever. That's just probably
something you need to work on, John.
Something I need to work on. Yeah, I should be like, hey, lady that I love, you should be blowing everybody. What's wrong with you? I left for 5 minutes. You did not blow the neighbor. We're done. I'm out of here.
Doesn't have to go that far.
Oh, right. You don't have to blow the You don't have to blow the neighbor just because I'm gone for 5 minutes. I did have a joke, though, with one of my exes. One of her exes lived up the block from where we were living together. And I used to be able to say, I can't even go up the block without running into a dude. You fucked. And it was, real, but I was joking, but it was true.
It was true.
Yeah. Just.
That's fine.
hence the funny. So talk to me about your 12-week journey of total reclamation, renewal, and rebirth. Is this for men and female?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. It's a 12-week program, really exploring all of these issues, but deep diving into yeah, all these belief systems that
Sadie,
we've
one
taken
second.
on.
Chad, do you want to do this with her? Me and you, we take her 12-week intensive course. See if what? Go ahead.
Maybe. Why not?
Wow.
We got an echo.
Yeah,
That would
there
be
was an
amazing.
echo.
Where'd that
But yeah, we'll
come
take
from?
this 12-week course, Chad. See if we come out of it wanting to. This is bad. The echo is bad. I'm getting lost in my own echo voice. Anyway,
Oh, I don't hear it here.
do you have headphones, Sadie, that we could, or maybe
Yeah.
if you plug in real quick? back there.
Yeah, no, it didn't sound very good when I tested it earlier. So let's see.
I'm gonna mute while you're doing that, and we'll get it set up that way.
Great.
That's the beauty of a live show, folks. You know this on the Gracious 2, how we rock and roll here. This is a fun conversation, Chad. What are you thinking?
Absolutely.
I'm
Having fun.
intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I'll check out her 12-week course. I could be interested.
Yeah. I mean, she'd have to really do some transformation for us, dude. Let's
Yeah.
see.
I might be already transformed. I don't know.
We're transitioning. Me and Chad are you there, Sadie?
Yeah. Is that
Perfect.
working?
Beautiful. Money.
It
Great.
was weird. It was fine, and then it just started. That was very strange. Anyway,
I blame Bobby. We have a producer. I don't know if you could see in the background, but we have a producer that I blame for every technical mishap we have.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. But so yeah, talk to us about the 12-week journey. What does it entail? Is it because I don't like to do mental homework. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm going on a journey, I kind of want it to happen to me. I don't want to have to like go and really like do some self-searching and
Well, okay.
Oh boy.
No, this is yeah, there's definitely, there's practices to do. But it's really, yeah, exploring, getting underneath these belief systems, like bringing things up to our consciousness and yeah, looking at how have I been living my life and is it serving me? And the first 6 weeks of the program is really getting underneath all of this stuff. And yeah, like, I mean, everything we've been talking about, right? And it's even things like nutrition. What am I surrounding myself with? What kind of energies and frequencies? Because it's, again, I do energy healing. So each week comes with an energy healing session to really, we bring this stuff up from beneath and then we clear it out with the energy healing. So it's it's a deep dive and like what have we just unconsciously taken on. It's everything we've been talking about here, but really getting into it, right?
Like a deep dive type of deal. More intense.
Reflection. Yeah, totally. And then also connecting with our spirituality, because we've taken on those belief systems from this dogmatic religious system we've grown up in. Like, this is how you're supposed to do God, right? And that doesn't work for a lot of people either. That's another one of the systems that's just falling apart. So, and there's a middleman. You have to, go to church and pray in this way to get, connected, or, like, let's move out of that crap. We are powerful beings. So it's looking at that too. Like, what have you taken on around that that's not serving you? How do we get out from under that? And then and we look at sexuality. I mean, we just look at everything, right? Like that's why I call it a total life transformation. And so many of us are just going about our day without any consciousness, and we actually can create our own reality. We get to choose when we take control of it, and we recognize that we have the power to decide and make different choices. So the last 6 weeks of the program then goes into like, okay, if those things weren't working for me, what is going to work for me? How do I want to live my life? Let's get very conscious of that and then make those decisions. So many people are they're just going through their day, they're on autopilot and not wondering why their lives aren't going the way they want them to. It's like, well, because you're not clear on how you want to live and what you want to do. And so the universe is giving you what you want. You're not, it's
right.
You're at. So let's get clear. And then you take off and go. And it's wildly transformative. And people, like, they don't even know what they're getting into when they get into this program. And then at the end, they're like, holy crap, I didn't know we were going to do that. Like, whoa. And then it's just, real big life changes. People leave careers that haven't been serving them. They get the courage and the confidence once they understand where they're trying to go and what really works for them, what they're passionate about. then they start making new choices, and like everything shifts, divorces happen,
Sure.
careers go away, or just, whole lifestyle changes because like, oh, they've been on autopilot and they've taken
Yeah.
off, here's how you're supposed to live your life. You go to school, you get married, have kids, do the career, right? And then you retire, and then maybe you go travel. Like, fuck that, right? Like, let's
Well,
rethink all of that. Yeah.
if you've been like a sexual doormat for, I'm just using those words, but for so long, and then all of a sudden, you take your stuff and you get empowered, that's like a whole life change. You went from like maybe somebody who was okay fucking shining shoes to somebody who now like wants to run a fucking Fortune 500 company because you have all this power that you never had before. Like if you get somebody that, is not used to getting their way, and then through sexuality they start getting it, it's empowering. They're like, oh shit, I didn't know I had this in me. It's like a whole nother way of thinking for a lot of people. So it's like, yeah, if you kind of accomplish what you're accomplishing and these people have an awakening, it's like a real great lifestyle change in a great way. Like you said, people are getting divorced, which sounds like a bad thing, but they're probably out of a 10-year shitty marriage that they should have been out of years back.
Right. Or
Yeah.
40 years.
Or that. Yeah.
Right.
How does the course work? Is it a daily thing? I'm assuming it's virtual.
Yeah, it is virtual, and it is there's daily practices. Part of it is I am a firm believer of doing daily practice, whether that be breath work, meditation, but
Masturbation.
absolutely. Self-pleasuring every day is very important to help us connect with our bodies. And again, the consistency and dedication to, a practice. And after a while, you can let it go, but you don't know, and you can't bear the fruits of a practice if you don't do it every day. So there's a foundation that's doing it every day. And then by the end of the program, you've been doing this thing for 3 weeks, right? So, like practicing a breath work or, whatever, there's different practices because everybody's a little different. So then you get to see like the actual fruits of that practice, right? I mean, breath work is freaking powerful. And when we dedicate, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, so there's practices like that. Then there's journaling. That there's different.
Saidi, real quick, because you mentioned the breath work. Can you let the audience know, just maybe not all your techniques or something, but just maybe some kind of breath thing that they could practice to get centered? Like, because people hear breath work, I hear it on podcasts all the time, and it's kind of just a glossed over thing, but it's really important to maybe know a technique on how to do some of it. So is there like one little quip you can give somebody, or just let them know what breath technique is? Or
yeah, people can go to my website or my YouTube channel, and I have breath work on there, some breathing techniques, and I guide people through, and people have really enjoyed those breathing. It's on Sacred Sensual Alchemy on YouTube. So that's one way. So that, yeah, go there.
and it's for what is breath working with your breath for? It's to get centered. It's for physical things, but mental things as well, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a clearing. It's a purification. It's like energy work, right? We are these channels. And when you breathe air and intentionally in these, various ways, it really clears things out. It opens things up in the most powerful, unbelievable ways. Right. And it just starts working on you, body, mind, and spirit, right? It clears out patterns and belief systems and unconscious things. It opens our energy channels up so that things can flow more smoothly, because we're very stuck, stagnant, and blocked, right? And it supports the movement and clearing of so much. It's powerful.
And on like the technical aspect of it, it starts messing with like your body's oxygen and CO2 levels. And that's where you start to get some of those changes that you physically and mentally that are really go a long way in helping and healing that people just don't get into by doing a 5-minute breath exercise, like can go a fucking long way into.
Huge. It's huge. And that's why that's a part of this program is, some daily practices like that, because sometimes we need that structure, right? We need some accountability. And so that, again, this is like bringing all of the tools that I've learned on my path and just condensing it all. Like, here's what worked for me, and try them on and see. And not everything is going to land with everybody, right? We're
Right.
very individual, unique people. So that's why I put so much into this program, so people can try and play around and see like what works for me. And then by the time they're done with it, they have all of these tools that they can take with them. And it's amazing. I feel like there was a question we were on that I lost track of, but
I think it was, what is your cup size for your bra? I don't know. Just kidding.
It was basically what the course is. Like,
right. Yeah.
So you do the daily thing. Is that a guided thing? Do you have to log in and you guide, or is that just a self, like the daily stuff?
It's guided. Yeah, there's videos each week, and then there's again the energy healing session each week, which you can be there for, not in person, but it's it's on Zoom, so you can be there to participate or just get the recording of it. But it happens anyway. Energy healing does not require your presence at all. It's really quite amazing in this new quantum understanding of reality. We just, so it's, that's all distance healing as well. And just, so freaking powerful. That's, I think, kind of the program without that piece would just not be the same at all.
Yeah. And as people start to understand just how, connected we are as a people, as a society, as humans, through way more than physical spaces and touch, like, healing, of course, can be done through, that virtual type deal. Cause it's not virtual. You're connected in a different way besides.
Absolutely. Yep. All entangled.
and as you start, more and more getting into those subjects and stuff, you realize how real that stuff is. And, that's kind of the point of this stuff. We have a lot of cool people like yourself on here where we introduce to the audience kind of falls in love, lets us know whether they want more or not to have you guys come back, but also just to open their eyes to stuff and have them go on a journey and seek out some information and stuff like that. We are the gracious too with the all-seeing eye, but we like to pretend we don't know as much as we know so they could go out and learn for themselves, that type of deal.
All-seeing eye, huh?
That's it.
I love
yes. Hey, now it's right here too.
There it is.
But Saidi, if you could let the audience know where they could get in touch with Saidi Bess and check out all your stuff and all your websites and all that jazz.
Yeah, sacredsensualalchemy.com, and I'm on Instagram and YouTube with same Sacred Sensual Alchemy. So very easy.
And so go check out those videos. And if you don't check out anything from her, check out her breathing technique videos and see if you can't get something from that, because that could be almost immediate in feelings and stuff like that. So good place to start to get people on your board.
Yeah, and those breathing exercises are geared towards supporting our healthy sexuality. So they're really great. They're great. Yeah.
So you might just breathe your way into a giant boner, dudes, is all I'm saying. Saidi, thank you so much.
That actually happens. Absolutely. Yes.
They sound like jokes, but hey, sometimes I'm spitting knowledge here. Again, thank you, Saidi. Take care.
Saidi. Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, the one and only Saidi Bess, ladies and gentlemen. That was a cool show. A lot of stuff we learned here, Mr. Gracey.
Absolutely.
I'm breathing my way into a boner right now.
Yeah. I want to go find and check out the course, see what it's like. I mean, why not?
Dude, when I was being serious when I said that, like if she could get to what she's trying to accomplish and gets the person taking her course to have that sexual awakening, it's such a big part of your life that you could go from being like a shy, timid person to like a go grab the world by the balls type of person kind of overnight, when you realize,
that's why I was asking about the logistics of the course, like how it works, but it sounds like it's pretty, you can check out the videos and do it at your time daily, but you can like, I got 5 minutes here. I can do breath work. And
right. So, and it seems like maybe she has like almost a full course out there with her, like YouTube and stuff like that. But if you wanted some one-on-one time, you could do it with her as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. That was cool. Like I still want to get like a full on, cause she seemed to make progressions from, having some fun in high school to dancing to being an escort. But I really want to get a full on somebody who's in the escort business on here and really talk to them, see how that life is. Like, is it scary? Do they like to do it? Are they doing it just for money? Like,
I would say a lot of them are doing it just for money. I would think, I mean, I may be wrong, but it sounds like Sadie would be the rare version of an escort, like really enjoys it.
Right.
I think most women do it for, out of need.
Yeah. Well, I guess my only thing, I'm just saying, like, as a dude, like, if you're with a girl that's not into it, you're not going to be into it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
escorts act, they're good actors, I think.
Yeah.
They act like they're really into it, and
Oh, I forgot.
That's part of their job.
I had the number one question for every guy out there for her: does size matter? But when she got lost on her track of whatever, she thought she was answering a question, and then like we didn't know what the question was. I was going to ask her that, but then I lost track. Thought it'd be a funny thing to hear her answer.
She'd probably say no.
She'd probably say no. She seems like a vibe person. Yeah. She's a vibe person. That's a good thing too. What do you do for people who are sexually like incompatible? Like they love each other, but maybe she's got like a fucking, airplane hangar down there, and he's got a fucking little Mazda Miata as the vehicle.
Microphallus.
Dude, can you believe, like, what would you do if you had a microphallus, bro? Like, listen, I don't need to be the biggest dude in the world. I could rock with average stuff, but below average micro penis, dude, I don't know what I would do with myself. I might transition, Chad. I might transition.
It could happen.
Joanna never sounded so good. Yeah, why go from a little pecker to a huge vagina? And I'd be like, that's right, boys, you can't handle this. Anywho, Bobby, why don't you come on here and take our show to a screeching halt?
What do you mean a screeching halt?
Nothing. So did you learn anything, Bobby? Are you still into tantric sex, or are you thinking about coming up with some breathing techniques?
I already do breathing techniques. I'm learning to tantric sex now, but I'm starting slow. I'm starting with the feet and then moving my way up.
Did he say he's starting with the feet, Chad?
Yes.
That sounds like you're getting into fetish work and not
No, it's not fetish. It's about like foot massages. There's certain reflex points on everybody's foot. You could even see the charts of the reflexology.
How much for a pair of your dirty socks? Is that where we're going with this? No.
Yeah, Troy says John's in love
with Sadie.
Yeah,
listen, I like every woman that's sexually open and is attractive. You know.
Yeah. Where is she based in the world? By the way, do you know where she is in the country?
Bobby, you should be sliding into her DMs for me right now and finding this out. Come on, dude. What are you here for? Yeah, no, I'm not really sure. We found each other in the dark, dude. It was crazy. No, we found each other on some Facebook thing. And cool. Yeah. And I heard what she was about. I was like, that seems like a cool guest, man.
Yeah. And
lo and behold, and we really just scratched the surface with all of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like probably could have gotten to some specifics of people she's done stuff. Well, that's why I was trying to see if like she ever had to, you're coaching somebody who's so sexually shy. Like I was wondering, she said no, basically, but I was wondering if she ever had to like physically kind of coax them out because the mental game wasn't working.
Right.
And I should have asked if she didn't do that, would she be open to it? And I feel like she would be, because she's not looking at it as like going against patient person confidentiality. It's like part of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the way she looks at sexuality, which is like no biggie, that would be no biggie,
Yeah. Could be.
All things that we'll ask her on the next show that she's on. Saidi Bess part two. Good, Bobby. So what do we got for Bobby's World before we have to get you out of here? And
I got a couple things.
Put you back in the,
I have a couple of things. I have first I have Jim Carrey when he was exposing the Illuminati on a Tonight Show.
Oh yeah, I saw that when he's doing this.
Oh, that's so fake, dude. But go ahead, play it.
It was funny though. It was funny.
Yeah, but he's just like fucking busting Jimmy's balls. Like, oh, you don't know this, Jimmy? You're part of it.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
That's Bobby, Chad. So if you don't know, he's playing stuff out of his speakers and allowing the microphone to pick it up, so I had to mute him. That's why I tell him to wear his headphones, but he don't listen. He's on his own journey.
God damn it.
Anywho, yeah, there was that. Jim's basically on there pretending that he's in the Illuminati. Kimmel's looking at him like he's got 3 heads. But yeah, it's something better than that, Bobby. What was you brought up a point though when you mentioned the Illuminati that had my brain go somewhere that I thought would be cool and fun. And do I remember it though, Mr. Gracey?
I don't know, buddy.
And I feel like it was on something we just watched with Rogan, but it was such a cool thing. And it made me think about something that I thought about differently. What was it? I need AI in my brain to just like hit the rewind button. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, what was I thinking about 4 seconds ago?
We're going to bust out the Neuralink.
Yes, dude, I'm ready to go. As soon as that thing's ready, sign me up. Let's go. Make me a better human. What else? And we were talking about something cool before we had Sadie come on too, and we kind of cut it short. Anybody remember?
Yeah, we cut it off real quick. I can't remember.
You were on a roll.
Awesome.
I know that. All right, let's go to the audience real quick. Check out some comments, and then we shall bid them adieu. Let's see here. Part 2, live from John's bedroom. Yes. Our OnlyFans will be up shortly. Non-playing. Bobby's says that all of you are NPCs. You're not really part of this. Only he is the main character. Can you imagine if we are the NPCs in Bobby's world? This is scary.
Bobby's running shit.
Our leader is checked out. Our leader is simulation. Oh, Chad, do you believe we're like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I know we
I go back and forth on that being the simulation, excuse me.
But like in your brain of brains, like, so in other words, like, do you think you could have this level of thinking, like you personally, like, you know, the way you think and be in a simulation? Like, even though the idea of the simulation is real, like, do you think it would be so ingrained that you would be thinking kind of like you're thinking now?
I think in theory, it seems like, yes, that would be the whole purpose, is to make you think this is reality and make you believe it wholly, like this is real.
But if all we knew was this reality, why would that part need to be there? Because you wouldn't have, like, if this is all we knew, we wouldn't know that people thought. We wouldn't know that, you know, fucking all these different colors and blue. Like, it seems like we made the simulation way too complicated. If it is, like, we could probably get away with The Sims, the video game, if they don't know they're in the video game, The Sims.
Right. Well, right. And why would we know we're in a simulation?
I don't know. I'm just saying this level of thinking. Like, I don't think the video characters in The Sims are thinking. Like, they're just no input. They're
not sentient, conscious.
Yes.
Well, I mean, so go back to the movie, The Matrix. Like, they explain why the simulation is so real, because if it wasn't real, then if it didn't appear to be so real, then your mind would try to throw it away.
Right.
But you're just in this little energy pod making energy for the supercomputers.
But let me go deep, dude. Let me go deep. So we're operating as if this is a real world, and then the only way to recreate this world in a simulation would be to have that simulation be exactly like this world is. Right? That's how the simulation is real. So,
well, we don't know. I mean, if this is a simulation, what is the real world?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So go with me here. So because basically what you were saying, like the Matrix, it has to be so real that your brain is indiscernible. Like, is this fake? Is this reality?
Right.
But if this whole thing is a simulation, what if we just made up humans, made up Earth, made up pyramids? None of it's real. And the people who actually put on this simulation are fucking big ass spider looking fucking things. And this is just a cool ass video game idea they came up with. Oh, let's make them have 2 legs and fucking, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting concept because the Matrix, the movie, assumes that it is humans making the simulation. Well, it's actually AI computers using the history of humans making a human simulation so that they can use the human body for batteries. But
yep,
I mean, yeah, it could be some completely fucking alien civilization just made this all up, and we're living inside supercomputers.
That's a real mind fuck. Like at least the part where we were thinking before is like, okay, humans made this simulation. We're just kind of riding off it, seeing if it works. But if it's the complete mind fuck, humans never existed. This is all a fucking simulation from up high. That's crazy, bro. We just fucked you all here. Organized religion. There is no Jesus. There is no God. There is no Muhammad. This is all fake. You heard it here on the Gracious 2. Gracious Tuesday. Testicle Tuesday.
There you go. Hey. I mean, you know, the simulation kind of explains Democrats.
Yes. And how they could be this absurd and think fucking there's no consequences for this way of thinking. Yeah.
Just kidding, Democrats.
Yeah, you're probably right, though, Chad. In that jest, you just came up with the actual creators of the simulation, and it's some far lefty Momo.
But then you go back to like the Mandela effect, and you're like,
yes.
Yeah, the Fruit of the Loom logo used to have a Fruit of the Loom on it. Like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
Or Jiffy peanut butter. No, it's Jif. Like all these things that you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? That seems like I really believed that. And I knew that then. And now they're saying it's fake or wasn't real.
And
like
what is that?
In that movie and the genie or whatever. It's like, what the fuck?
What is that? Is that a glitch in the Matrix? So like in other words, why would we all think it had the cornucopia in it? And then now they're saying it doesn't. Like, wouldn't the easier part to be doing is putting the cornucopia in there that we all remember?
I guess there can be 2 theories. It's timeline shift.
Oh.
I guess there's 3. It didn't happen. We just remember shit differently than it actually was. Timeline shift.
I like that one.
Or it's the Matrix, and it's just glitches in the Matrix.
Yes. So timeline shift I like, and then I also like the glitch in the Matrix. Those seem like the second one where we just remember incorrectly is no way. Sorry.
He says he has a pair of the cornucopia. Let's see a picture. I
have a picture. I just got to find it. It's going to take me a while to find it.
I
will post it. I'll post it on the site. I'll post it on our site.
How old are these underwear?
Yeah, they Fruit of the Loom. My BVDs spell boulevard at this point.
But anyway, so it's an interesting concept. You know, it's like I said, it's interesting to ponder.
It is, dude. My mind is blown from the ending up. Well, good show all around, but this last portion is really like I want to stop talking and think about what we just like. I want to be a fly on a wall in this conversation. I don't want to be part of it. Anyway, gracious audience, thank you. We appreciate you. This has been fun. This has been real. We got plenty more for you. We got some really cool stuff on the horizon. Check out.
He's going to post his underwear on Facebook, so get ready.
Yes, they are holy and not like
How old are these fucking things, dude?
Not holy
from the 70s and 80s.
Hey now, let Bobby say goodbye real quick. Go ahead, Bobby.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping up with us. Love you all.
Right. The one and only Bobby.
Hey, like, subscribe, spread the word, follow. Go check out our merch, all that good stuff.